Hi guys, have you ever wished you could add desktop graphics power to your laptops? I have. This is my story about the HP Omen Accelerator, a device that aims to do exactly that. The idea is, using a Thunderbolt 3 port, which I have on both this HP Spectre 360 and the Dell XPS 13 laptop I've got here, you can effectively use an external enclosure connected by Thunderbolt 3 to take the power of this R9 390 graphics card, for example, and allow the laptop to use it to deliver better graphics performance. And in my case, that'll be useful for me when I'm away, because I can use it to play the odd game. And in particular, the game that I'm interested in and what I play when I'm abroad is FIFA. The solution comes in a humongous box, and here it is, the Omen Accelerator. A couple of health warnings come with this. Firstly, your laptop has to have a Thunderbolt 3 port, and secondly, there is limited compatibility, so you need to check very carefully about compatibility. More on that later. Goes without saying that I have checked exhaustively that the Omen Accelerator is compatible with both my laptop and the AMD R9 390 graphics card that I've got. Let's blast through the unboxing because, well, we've all seen unboxings before. Obviously it comes with a UK mains cable, which in my case is good, some bits of paperwork, and this cloth bag, which presumably contains the device itself. It's a pretty hefty device, and it comes in a form factor that I believe Hewlett-Packard use for their gaming devices, the Omen series. Just important for people who don't know what an Omen Accelerator is to know is this is not a computer, this is a device that only works connected to another device with a CPU like a laptop. Here you can see the ports on it, so you can zoom in and have a look at that if you want. But it's more of a docking station as well as a graphics accelerator, and it has USB 3 ports on it, and it has a network adapter built in as well. Okay, right, so what I need to do now is I need to take my AMD R9 390 graphics card and work out how to install it inside this box. This will then connect to my laptop using a Thunderbolt 3 connection, as we discussed before, and the laptop should recognize the graphics card, and I should be able to use the graphics card to enhance the performance of my laptop while playing games and other graphic intensive applications. It's a very substantial and actually quite heavy enclosure, with basically one PCIe slot in it for a dual slot graphics card. Enough room for a bit of airflow, and one of the things I like about the Omen Accelerator is it uses a full-size ATX power supply, which I presume you could change if you wanted to give you more power. In spite of the fact that it's a big enclosure, it's actually still quite fiddly to install into and get access to the graphics card, so I didn't actually find it to be completely as straightforward as I would have wished actually, but eventually I do get the graphics card installed, and here you can see me basically sizing things up. The headlight may look a bit nerdy, but it helps a lot when you're working in deep black enclosures. Take it from me. I guess the overall impression I did get though when I unboxed this is, did it really have to be this big? While I fiddle incompetently around with this, it might be worth talking a little bit about why this would make sense for someone. You know, why would you spend £200 or US dollars on an enclosure, then buy an expensive graphics card, and when the total cost is starting to get quite close to the cost of actually building a PC? Obviously not entirely, but close. And the answer is, I think, first of all, in my situation, for example, I've already got the graphics card. I already have a spare powerful graphics card. Secondly, I'm traveling to a remote location where I can just leave the device. I can use it as a docking station and a power supply for my laptop, which I use all the time. So I think there are particular circumstances and particular usage cases that people have where having an external eGPU graphics enclosure might make really good sense if you, for example, want to arrive somewhere, plug in your laptop having arrived, charge it up, use the additional ports, and also have the capability to play games or do graphics intensive applications like maybe video editing, where the extra power will make a huge difference. Anyway, that's the theory, and that was my reason for buying this enclosure. Right, let's jump forward in time now and have a look at post-installation, how it performs. And what you can see here is I've set the Omen Accelerator up with my laptop on the lounge TV, and this is actually the first time that I attempted to run FIFA, which is obviously the whole purpose of this really, is to give me a laptop that can play FIFA at frame rates that don't involve it looking like a slideshow. So here I am booting it up for the first time and getting very excited. The laptop recognizes the Omen Accelerator and the software installation is very straightforward. And here I am about to play my first game of FIFA, so we'll just see how that goes. So what you're seeing here now is the Windows blue screen of death, and on recovery a similar blue screen of death. Okay, now I installed all of the latest drivers for the correct R9 card, and I went through HP's full setup process. Here you see a repeated attempt and another blue screen of death. Okay, so what happened now is I thought to myself, well, you know, I thought I checked really carefully that this card and my laptop were fully compatible. So I think it's time for us to go back to the HP website and double check again. Are they properly compatible? Because obviously that could be leading to problems. So I'll go to the official Omen website, which is obviously quite good. Right, okay. There is my graphics card. Okay, and I'm pretty sure now if we scroll down, okay, it's a good picture showing the port layout and other things, so if you want to go and have a look at that, you can. And there is my laptop, the HP 360 Spectre. Okay, right, so as I said, I checked carefully. My laptop and my graphics card are fully compatible with the Omen Accelerator, but unfortunately all I get is the blue screen of death. Now this is very frustrating. What I'm not going to show you in this video is the 2 hours plus I spent on the phone to HP support, who by the way were excellent, but were also completely unable to make this combination work. And even though I showed them that they were clearly compatible on their own website, they claimed that they weren't able to make it work. So I don't want to leave the video there though, because I thought, well, that's a tremendous disappointment. So what I actually did was I borrowed this 780 GTX, completely different graphics card. So I borrowed this, it's not my card, because I thought, well, let's give it another chance with a different card and see if I can make it work. So it's with mixed feelings that I tell you that it actually works great with this card. Not my card, unfortunately. And what we'll do now is we'll switch to a brief section of video showing the performance of FIFA using the Omen Accelerator, my HP Spectre 360 laptop, and the GTX 780 graphics card installed, and achieving a huge performance increase. So originally using my laptop, I was seeing it slowing down to 8 frames a second, which is obviously virtually unplayable. Maxing out maybe at about 26-28 FPS during the lower load periods. Here, using the Omen Accelerator and the 780 GTX, the game is comfortable at 28-30 FPS, and actually these in-game sequences, the frame rate actually hits 140 FPS. So a huge improvement. Okay, while I play a reminder of the unboxing, let's sum up and close out with some pluses and minuses. The Omen Accelerator, does it work? And the answer is yes and no. With a strong caution about compatibility, you can't trust the data on HP's website because it's clearly not correct. With the right graphics card, the right laptop, and the right setup, it does work. Is it plug and play and easy to do? If you get all the compatibility issues out of the way, yes. But on the positive side, what I would say is that HP offer a really good 14-day credit return and warranty service, so that if within the first 14 days you encounter any problems, you can return the item, as I did, because it didn't work. So you've got that as a backup, but it's by no means a slam dunk that it's going to work for you and your particular hardware. Let's talk some pluses and minuses. The unit itself is heavy and well built. As I mentioned already, the support from HP is good. The performance boost when it works is excellent. I was really pleased with the positive impact that the GTX 780 had, and it definitely did the job. The additional ports and other items on the dock unit itself are also very good, so this would make a very good dock as well as an eGPU. I also like the fact that it has a standard ATX PSU built in, so you could potentially upgrade that. On the negative side, obviously the weird compatibility issues and incorrect statements on the HP website about what works. It's a huge box, and in spite of the fact it's a huge box, it's actually still quite difficult and fiddly to install the graphics card. Why does it need to be that way? I was also actually quite disappointed that the unit itself will not charge my laptop through Thunderbolt due to insufficient power. That just makes no sense to me whatsoever. Why would you install a power supply in the accelerator that doesn't have enough power to not only power the graphics card but also power the laptop? That to me seems just a design mistake. And also, something I didn't experience but I've read about in lots of other places is Thunderbolt bandwidth issues still mean that if you're trying to stream video, use your network port in your Omen Accelerator and a lot of other devices, you can start running into issues with the amount of bandwidth available through the Thunderbolt 3 port, and that results in collectively poor performance. So sounds like Thunderbolt 3 still has some limitations to be worked out. So based on my experience, would I recommend an eGPU and the Omen Accelerator in particular? And I think the answer to that is no, not without a very strong caution about compatibility issues and unless you're prepared to take a risk and maybe have to return the device. My feeling is that the limitations of Thunderbolt 3, the compatibility issues that are obviously still a problem, and the fact that it's not really truly plug and play yet, I think it's smart to wait a bit. I think the concept is a great concept. The idea is a really good one. It's potentially going to be great in the future, but I don't think it's there yet. And I wouldn't recommend this device as a plug and play way of improving graphics performance on your laptop. It's time to wait a bit on this one, I think. Okay, that's it, guys. See you in the next one.